Okay, so today we're building this 27-inch base cabinet by Reliabilt, and you can see that they have all of these clips. So step one is finding the clips, taking them out of the package, and then finding these they're not even pre-drilled, but kind of pre-punched holes to kind of give you the idea of where these brackets need to sit. So this is on the back part of the panel right here. The brackets face the L part towards the back side. The back side, you can see that orientation there. This is coming towards the front side and the front side. So these ones have been secured. So you're just basically putting your screws. These are the screws that they tell you to use that come with your package. Your package looks just like this. And it says to use the double D screws. So those are those ones. And you're gonna go around and do this on both of your panels. So you got a panel right here, and got the other panel right here. Once again, it's got the pre-punctured holes in all the locations that the bracket sits. And those L brackets face out. See, they're facing out. This one faces out, okay? And secure all those. Okay, now that I have all 5 clips installed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's on my A1 panel, and all 5 clips on my A2 panel. Now you're going to grab your C panel, and you are going to make sure that this slides, comes in, it fits right in this notch. The C panel, the sticker faces towards the inside part of the cabinet, so the sheens are the same. Now the big thing is that this notch matches up perfectly with that notch before attaching the bracket. You can attach the bracket here and the bracket there to panel C. So that is step number 2, is attaching panel C to panel A2 using the brackets that you already pre-installed, making sure that this groove right here matches with this, and that this board is fully into the groove all the way from top to bottom, so that it holds itself in place with no hands attached. And that'll allow you to be able to, as a one-person show, put this together. All right, step 3 is to now slide panel A1 into the back panel, which is panel C. And so as you can see, I've put the back panel laying flat down on the floor, and I am going to put it in exactly this way, making sure that C slides into the groove from top to bottom, and also making sure that the large seam down here matches up as well, so that the piece of plywood that goes there to make the bottom part is able to fit nicely. So you'll attach these 2 brackets into panel C, and that is with the A1 panel, making sure that the clips are facing towards the inside and replicating exactly what we did on the other side. So I just laid C on the floor, the newly attached A2 is in the air, okay, and now my other panel, A1, is gonna get attached to the back. That's the next step. The biggest things is I like to stand this up. So as you can see, I've got the notched part down. And so this is the top of the cabinet is up here. What I like to look for is to make sure that this is perfectly flush up here, and that it's fully seated inside of that groove. It's fully seated inside of that groove right there, and that it's flush. If it isn't, then what I do is I unattach these brackets, and both at the top and the bottom, and I push it down or up to get that the top part is totally flush with one another. Okay, so if you have to adjust it, just detach it while it's standing up, move it up and down, make sure it's seated all the way inside of that groove, all the way down the board, and then you know you've got a good connection. They do have, just like they had the pinholes to kind of show you where to pre-drill, they also have it on each panel. So if those aren't lining up, you kind of know you might not be fully into the groove as well. But that's one thing to make sure, is that this is flush, because whatever countertop you put on the top of these, you just don't want to have that be crooked. And then also want to make sure that the groove down here matches up, because you'd be slipping a board in there. Okay, next step is using this groove right here and right here to slide panel B into, making sure that the shiny part and not the back side, okay, not the back side, that goes towards the bottom, that no one has to look at. The shiny part, usually with the sticker on it, this one does have the sticker, is going to be facing up. It's going to be facing up into the cabinet, and slide that right in. Try to do it with one hand, but a lot of times it requires two to just get it to slide in nicely. Okay, so there you go, sliding in. Now notice it touched back there, but we're not fully in, so you just need to kind of wiggle it till it gets fully seated. And the way you know if it's fully in is it should be flush in the front here, and it should be flush in the front right there. If it isn't, it means you're not all the way in. So that's what that looks like for the next step. Pulling out your face frame. And as you can see, it's notched on the back side. Check the front to make sure the paint job looks good, or you'll want to return it. And you're going to fit it into the sleeves in here and on this side. And then you will be attaching it to your clips. One right there, one at the bottom, one right there, one at the bottom. You just got to make sure it's pulled in to the groove all the way, okay, into that seam all the way to get a good connection. Face frame is attached. You're gonna pull out your toe kick labeled E. You're gonna slide that right up into here, okay, and then it gets attached on the bottom side with your pre-drilled clips. Get a clip attached right there, and a clip attached right there. Should take 20 seconds to make that happen. Once again, as you can tell with like this toe kick, you want to be forcing the pieces together to make everything flush. You want to pull the cabinet whichever direction you need to make sure that the toe kick doesn't sit like that. You'd want it to be perfectly flush with the outside part. Okay, so you don't want it like that. You want it nice and flush, but you might have to pull it and make those clips bend a little bit to get them to be exactly where you need them, so it finishes up nicely. And do that on both sides. We're on to the hinges. So you got this long box right here. I wonder if it has a label on it. Yep, AA. These are your drawer slides. Open up your box. Slide them out. Gonna be two different slides, and I will show you what they look like. Okay, so this is what they look like. They come with this gray piece in the back. It's got the two plugs. Those two plugs go right into the two holes in the back of the cabinet, right there, and just push it right in. This is probably best done with two hands, but I'll do it with one best I can. Okay, get it fully seated. Now this clip, you can pull the drawer slide out as far as you need. See how this moves in and moves out. It also moves left and right. And you just want to make sure that this is kind of how this sets up. You want the bracket. This bracketed part needs to go to the outside. That's how I know that's the right slide. It also might be written on there. Just making sure that you do. And then you are lining that up with the pre-drilled screw holes. And you push, you can move it in, you can move it out, whatever you need to get it right in the middle. And then you're gonna put a screw in right here and a screw in right here. Now, if this is in the way, all you need to do is slip the whole contraption out, get it out of your way. So then you can get your screws and your screw gun to screw it in right here and right here, and you can even slide this whole sleeve out if you needed to. But I just leave it in, slide it this way, put my screw in there, slide it that way, put it in, and then reattach the drawer slide. All right, so the drawer slides are in. So I got my screw, one screw on this side, one screw over here. And then I just make sure that this seam right here in the middle is lined up with the bracket at the top. So that seam right there is lined up with that at the top. There it is. You can see you can kind of slide this left and right if you need to, as an adjustment. You just try to get it perfectly in the center to start. Perfectly in the center, and then you can slide the drawer in and out, so that way when you need to attach it here, you can adjust the length of it. So then get the 2 screws there on each side, there, and right there.
Action.
Okay, so for building the drawers, it's got these knobs that stick out. Don't put it in vertically, you need to slide it in sideways. The way you know which side goes on which side is you need to make sure that the seam right here lines up with the seam on the drawer face. Okay, so this is the back of the drawer face, and it comes in through the side. You're gonna grab a rubber mallet and just start to tap it in. And as you can see, it's not all the way in yet because it's slightly raised. So I just keep slowly working it in, small taps. Okay, until it's totally flush. And then I know that I've got that in there. I do the other side, and then I'm gonna put this sleeve right inside of here. That makes the drawer bottom, and I'm gonna cap it with this one. Once again, this wants to slide into the side, so you gotta make sure you slide it in one way after the other. Okay.
Do you want me to keep recording?
Yeah.
I did a couple bicep zoom-ins, okay?
Okay, thank you, baby. Gotta make sure the seam's lined up.
Oh, those are nice quality for being built like that.
Yeah.
Is there screw holes on the back, or what is that?
Yep. Okay, so then that's what your drawer will look like when it's fully assembled. Just checking to make sure you don't need to knock it one way or another. And then it's ready for the next phase. Open up box BB, and you're gonna get these clips. They do have orientation on it, but since everything's upside down, it's just kind of nice to note that this part that's got the scroll goes to the outside part of the cabinet, that this piece rides up on top. You've got 2 sets of screws. You use the long screws to go into the frame that's a little bit thicker, and you use these really short screws to attach it to the bottom of the drawer, or it'll pop out through the drawer. So you're just gonna push it, get this piece on top of the bump out and laying flush. And you're gonna attach it here and here. Short screw, short screw. Get the other one out. Same deal, scrolly part goes towards the outside part. Long screw, short screw, short screw. And that's how those get attached to the bottom of the drawer to work with the drawer slides. Step is to take your front door. You're gonna go into box BB. You're gonna see these clips, pretty straightforward. Clips go that way, so they're faced towards the outside of the frame with the extra clip that'll get attached to the face frame. So they just sit right in these, they just fit right in those holes. Okay, so this piece Just pop it right in, make sure the holes line up, and attach those with the proper screws, which is going to be the double A screws, is what they're labeled as in the instructions manual. So just get them attached with these screws. I'll take 4 of them, and then I'll show you the next part. Next step is to take the opposite clip. You just attach these to the doors. There's a pre-drilled hole just like this one right here in the side of the face frame, and just like this one right here. And so you're gonna drive this screw and that screw, those are the ones I drove in there, into the face frame and got them stiffened up, and then I shut the door. They're soft close. And I just kind of make sure that the reveal here is similar from top to bottom. And you can make adjustments on that by tightening and loosening this screw, tightening and loosening this screw. If you need to raise the face frame up or down, you can loosen this screw and loosen this screw in the middle, and you can just physically pull it up or down within that area. So you'd loosen this screw and you'd loosen this screw here. These also have adjustments on the door to both tilt them out or in. You'd have to play with that, but the common adjustments are with this front screw, and to raise it up and raise it down by loosening the 2 middle screws. So those are the ones that you're adding though. These ones already were in here. This one already existed. You added these ones to attach it to the door. You need to add this one in the middle. So this clip just sits on here, drive it into the screw hole that's already pre-drilled for you. Pretty straightforward. Okay, then the last part is to just add these 4 brackets, driving the appropriate screws into them. You've got them in each 4 corners, and then you're left with soft close drawers. That's what they kind of look like. Built this one earlier, same, we just went through the same process with this one. Just a smaller cabinet, but nice soft close drawers. You got micro adjustments you can make to each one of them. If you read the instruction manual, you can learn how to make those adjustments, but so far the ones we've installed, they just went together nicely. Everything was flush and level, so I'm very happy with the way that they turned out.